What an entry for Elkanemi Warriors to my degree there for the fact that they won the President Federation's Cup and they are back to their home state. Welcome you on the show. 360 Sport on Trust TV. Adeni Ajishafe. We're going through the world of sports, a lot of activities that we line up for you on the show. But right now, we're starting with that particular aspect that has to do with Elkanemi Warriors. You saw how they were jubilating. What a big one there for that team against all the defeated Abia Warriors in the final. And now, Elkanemi Warriors FC triumphant entry to my degree is the first story we'll be looking at on the show. Well, after being able to do this, for the fact that they won it twice before this, we're making it the third time that Elkanemi Warriors will be winning the President Federation's Cup, the oldest cup in Nigerian Football League season. And right now, they've been able to do well for the fact that they won that FA Cup and they jubilated straight down to Maiduguri, the state capital of Borno State. Well, congrats to Elkanemi Warriors for being able to do it and also qualifying for the CAF Confederation, joining Eyimba in that second slot that Nigeria will be having, and also qualifying for the MPFL, Nigerian Premier Football League. That's a big one. 3-1 for Elkanemi Warriors. They deserve to celebrate across the whole street in Maiduguri there. Well, joining us to talk sport is our own person. That's Nazir Jamajo from Kaduna. Good to have you, Nazir.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so let's start with that first story. You saw their Elkanemi really entering Maiduguri with that triumphant entry. What a way celebrating, in fact, playing Shaka, that song by Shakira, and celebrate for the fact that they're able to do 3-1 for Elkanemi Warriors.
Yeah, I think it's a good one for them. It's a good one for them. They deserve to celebrate because, whenever you win this kind of trophies, it's not even the only trophy that they've won this season. They qualified for the NPFL, just like you said, and then they went ahead to win the Confederations Cup. I think it's a good one, a very good one for them. That is why they have to, go around the city, rally around to make sure that they jubilate together with their fans. Everybody was there, including the commissioner and everything. And I was even surprised to see that the governor wasn't there together with them. I expected them to be there because it is a massive achievement for a team like this to be in the second tier of the league right here in Nigeria and still won the FA Cup together with the big boys that have participated in it, the ones that are playing in the NPFL, and at the end of the day, they make sure that they brought that trophy home. I think it's a massive achievement, and the fans deserve to celebrate together with the players and everyone in the city. I think it's a good one for them in the footballing, circuit right there in Borno State. I think it's a massive achievement. It's a big one. They deserve to celebrate, to be honest.
Well, for the fact that Elkanemi Warriors actually went home with 50 million naira for winning the Federation's Cup, they deserve it. Looking at the street there, the fans jubilating for the fact that their team, they were able to triumph over there in Lagos. You can imagine the journey from Lagos down to Maiduguri. Well, right now they are celebrating for being able to get 50 million and also getting to the MPFL. They will also be playing the CAF Confederation alongside Eyimba International. We just have to celebrate Elkanemi Warriors. They did it well for the fact that they actually defeated Abia Warriors, and you just have to appreciate what the entire team did, fighting hard to bring it to that ancient city of Maiduguri there. Look at the cup, celebrating them, and for the fact that their coach, Coach Zubero, really has done well for himself, being able to take them to the final, and he said it, and actually did the business of getting it done. Now the entire state are really jubilating and celebrating Elkanemi Warriors. Their name always stands out when you look at the MPFL. The name so African, and right now celebrating them for what they've done there. Well, once again, congrats to Elkanemi Warriors of Borno State, getting CAF Confederation, getting MPFL slot, and also winning getting 50 million naira. Well, we've been talking with Nazir Jamajo from Kaduna State there. Now, let's cross over from that story and talk about beach soccer. Beach soccer is really growing in Nigeria, and you can't take anything away because we even have a team rated as #1 in Africa from Nigeria. But right now, the Super 4, just like we have Super 8, the Nigerian National League, there's Super 4 in the Big Soccer League, MBSC, and it's actually SL rather. It's happening live in Kaduna. It will be starting today. Well, Kebbi Big Soccer team will be facing Kebbi United Big Soccer by 4 p.m. While Kada BSC, that's the home team now, will be facing Anambra Big Soccer. That's for day 1 fixtures. Day 2 have Anambra versus Kebbi. Kada versus Kebbi United, and the three will have Kebbi United versus Anambra Big Soccer, while All-Star match will actually come up then before they won Kada BSC versus Kebbi Big Soccer. A 3-day affair. Well, a big one there, at least the Big Soccer Super 4 will be starting today. Nigeria Jamajo, at least a lot of fans of Big Soccer will have something to see for the fact that the best four teams for this season will be meeting to see who will be crowned the winner of the Nigerian Big Soccer League for this season, while they face themselves in the Super 4.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, it will be a good chance for people that like big soccer to go and, we see teams play against each other right there. I think it's a good one, to be honest. And when you look at the fact that it is in the latter stages of this tournament that we are right now, I think that makes it more interesting, because whenever competition goes into the latter stages, that is where everybody wants to express himself. That is where every team wants to score. That is where every team wants to win games. So I think it is the most interesting part of this big soccer tournament. And personally, me too, I enjoy watching this big soccer because it comes with a whole lot of goals. There is definitely never going to be a game that you watch in the big soccer and you say that there isn't enough goals, or maybe a team is like a lost and they couldn't score so many goals. The only thing is that who scores the most is the one that wins games in the big soccer. I think that is the beautiful part of it. That is why I love watching it, because goals are being involved, and especially in this kind of stage, we expect so many goals to, be part of these games that will be played right there. And we wait to see what is going to happen, but it is going to be interesting, to be honest. Just like you said, big soccer is growing in Nigeria, and we hope that people that are put in charge of the big soccer right here in Nigeria put an eye on these kind of tournaments to make sure that they get the best players, so that when it comes to representing Nigeria, we have the best players in the country representing the country in big tournaments.
Seriously, it's getting better, and the coordinator Adeja really needs a lot of commendation, and himself and the entire team that has made big soccer so popular in Nigeria. And really, in Africa, like I said, we have a team, Kebbi Big Soccer team, rated #1 in Africa. That's a plus for the fact that a Nigerian team is actually topping and being rated #1. And the fact that the Super 4 will be starting today, we just have to look at that game. It's getting a lot of attention. Adeja Mahmood and the entire big soccer team are really working hard to see how the best of the best will play this sport. And we are getting it right. And if everything goes well, who knows? Our team, the Super Sun Eagles, is also coming back. We know that the Nigerian Football Federation has actually approved that the Super Sun Eagles come back to life, where they will be playing in the competition that will be coming up later. Congrats to all the 4 teams participating in this year's Super 4 in the Nigerian Big Soccer League that will be starting today in Kaduna State. Well, from that Big Soccer, we go back to football. This time around, we talk about the MPFL. MPFL has gone for this season. Yes, we have the winner, Rangers International, the Flying Antelope of Enugu at the Cathedral. They were able to do it, and now they are the winner of the league. But right now, the organizers of that league, led by Benga Elegbeleye, is already appreciating all the entire team and associate for being able to put up a successful 2023-2024 MPFL season. A commendable one, because we saw about 76 matches being streamed because of MPFL and their sponsors working together to see how our matches are being streamed online. And also a lot of improvement, the prize money, officiating, a lot of things that happen. Jamal Joe, you look at the MPFL season for this 2024, a lot of commendations coming to the organizers, right?
Yeah, of course. I think they deserve it, especially just like you said, for this match is being viewed on television. I think it's a good one. Wherever you are in this country, you can watch the NPFL, and I think just like you said, we've seen 76 matches being televised on TV. So I think it's a good progress. But for me, the most important thing is how can we sustain this kind of thing when it comes to the NPFL? Because we have had these kind of things a couple of years ago where we get to see matches on television, but the following season, when after that season that we get to see those matches, ended, the following season we find it very difficult to see this kind of games again on television. So the only thing I want to see is that how can we sustain this kind of thing in the NFL? Because sustaining it is the most important thing. If they can get to do maybe next season, I think it will be a very good progress. Everybody will be happy with that when it comes to the NFL right here in Nigeria. I think it's a good progress to have these, games on TV, and then you look at the prize money through the increase in it. You look how the league has been handled from the start of it to the end of it. So I just hope the next season starts at the date, the exact date that they said the next season is going to start. That is late in August. It gets to start that day. We don't have any quarrels or any difficulties or any challenges starting the new season. We'll be hearing stories of and the plays, and then we get to see these matches getting televised. I think that's the next step because they just concluded the season. Yeah, just like you said, has been a success. To be honest, they have tried their best, but we need to see more. We want more improvement in the NPFL so that it can reach those levels that we want it to reach. To be honest.
Okay, while talking about the dates of resumption for NPFL, well, to some extent, Nigerians are not too sure because we are fond of always postponing it. This time around, NPFL organizers should do everything possible to make sure 31st of August really works out. But now, Jamal Joe, out of the 4 teams that qualify for the CAF Interclub competition, we have Rangers International and Remo Stars for CAF Champions League. We have Eyimba and Elkanemi Warriors qualifying for the CAF Confederation. The 4 teams need to start preparing now because CAF Champions League is, rather, CAF Interclub competition is another level of football across Africa. They need to start now.
Yeah, that's the difficulty, I think, in Nigeria. The difficulty is for us to go ahead and play in this kind of tournament campaign. Because when it comes to the Confederations Cup or maybe the CAF Champions League, that is where our teams do really struggle, to be honest. And that is where we need to seriously improve. The most important thing, I think, right now in the NPFL is not about making it to the Confederations or maybe the continental tournaments, it's how you perform. That is why almost every time I love to see a Yimba being part of these teams that go ahead and play in this kind of tournaments because they almost always perform. They try their best to make sure that at least they go into some kind of things, maybe get past the group stage or find themselves in a very good position. Even if they get knocked out in the Champions League, they go ahead and play better in the Confederations Cup. I think that is why I love seeing them there. But for Elkanemi Warriors, it is a different challenge right now for them. They have played very well in the in the second division in Nigeria. They have played well in the FA Cup. They've won it and they have qualified for the NPFL. So they know that the challenges that are going to come next season are more than that 50 million naira they received as their prize money for winning the Confederations Cup. So they have to do better. They have to put everything in place and in time to make sure that they prepare themselves. If not, it's going to be difficult for them. I am seriously happy for Elkanemi to find themselves in this kind of position, to be honest, because it is a massive achievement. When was the last time we see a team from the northern part of this country playing in this kind of tournaments? I think the last time we saw that was with Kano Pillars a couple of years ago, if not 5 to 6 years. But they have brought that back to the northern part of this country. So it's a massive achievement. But the challenges ahead are more than the ones they face in the just concluded season. So they have to get their acts together and start performing. For Eyimba, it's nothing new. And for Rivers United too, it is a big challenge. Although it's not the first time they've been there. So they have to put everything together and make sure that they perform. And starting that league, the NPFL on time, is what is going to help all of these teams to be in the right position, in the right shape to challenge in this kind of tournaments, to be honest. But if we get to stay like we used to do, relax and get the league, postpone the, start date of the league, give excuses, then that is not helping all of these teams entirely. Just look at Europe. All the leagues start in August and the Champions League starts in September. That is after the start of the, those leagues in all those competitions because they need the players to be in a good state so that they can play in the biggest club competition. So that is the way it is. I think for Nigeria, we have to do better in certain those days so that we can help our teams perform better in this kind of competitions.
Well, from what you are saying, the challenges ahead of Elkanemi is beyond the 50 million they picked. What's the way to go? Well, for Team Nigeria, we just saw that they will do well. That's, all the 4 teams, Remo Stars, Rangers International, and Eyimba. Well, we have Eyimba there. They know how to prosecute games across Africa. They have experience, and hopefully we can at least have a mindset that we'll have a team that can withstand the firepower of African football when it comes to CAF Interclub competition there. Nasiru Jamajo has been with us, and we've been talking sports on the show. Earlier, talk about the big soccer starting in Kaduna today, and also the fact that Elkanemi Warriors make a triumphant entry to Maiduguri. Not forgetting Elegbele appreciating the NPFL associate for making it possible that league actually saw the best lights of the day. Now, we're moving away from that story. Let's talk about teams that will be playing in the MPFL. A lot of them don't have good pitches, and now, according to MPFL organizers, their warnings about 70. Let's start with that story. Shooting Stars, Abia Warriors, 5 others must upgrade pitches or risk sanctions coming from MPFL, Nigerian Premier Football League. Organizers are saying all the 7 teams must make sure they improve on their pitches because they will not accept what they are presenting as pitches for all the matches they will play in the MPFL. And right now we have 7 of them. Let's look at the 7 teams that will be right now being given that nod there to make sure they improve their pitches. Abia Warriors, Sunshine Stars, Shooting Stars, Kwara United, Niger Tornadoes, Plateau United, and Elkanemi Warriors. These 7 clubs in Nigerian Premier Football League must make sure they improve on their pitches to make it at least good enough, worthy enough to play football matches. Well, Jamajo, that's a big one, a clarion call, and in fact a tough one coming from MPFL organizer because they want to take a risk against them that if they don't improve on it, they are facing sanctions, and that's a good way to go, right?
Yeah, a very good way to go. A very good way to go because most of the time, those pitches when you have challenges when it comes to the grass and everything that's involved in the playing top. I think the players do face challenges of coping with this kind of situations on field. So I think it's a good way forward for the NPFL to make sure that every pitch is in the right state, right standard to make sure that all of these games go ahead and be played right there in those stadiums. I think it's a good way forward, to be honest. All of these teams are teams that are in the NPFL. So in the NPFL, it's not just by being there. You have to meet some standards when it comes to your pitch and to play games in front of your fans. So I think they just need to improve it. It's just some money that they should invest straight away into the team. Sometimes we need to ask this club to make sure that they put things in the right way. I think
okay, well,
they get to challenge all of these teams to be in the right state so that all of the games will be in a very good situation. Sometimes we get these speculations of how difficult the players get to perform when it comes to this kind of pitch. I have had that with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Sometimes we do hear that with some players in the NFL, although the complaints have not been that much, but I think it's a way forward to make sure that even when these games get televised, we will not be disappointed.
Well, seriously, our pitches needs to get better because they must be TV friendly, like Jamajo said. And aside that, for the footballer themselves, they need to enjoy the pitch where they are playing. Is it tough or natural pitch? But at least let it be at that level where our footballers can enjoy the football they are playing. And also, we can also see a better one. If you look at those pitches there, you can see that they are not up to standard. And something must be done coming from the organizers of the Nigerian Premier Football League. And if this is done, Jamajo, at least it's going a long way because we've seen a lot of leagues across Africa. Somalia, Sudanese, Kenyan, Zambian league being projected on TV, and you'll be wondering, wait, really, is this Africa and our own? We need to get it right. And if this is done, this will go a long way. Not only MPFL, even the NNL, Nigerian National League, they need to also begin to let those clubs know that if you really want to do the business of sport or football, you need to get ready and invest in it. Well, right now, about across Nigeria, we know that there are some pitches that can actually stand the test of time, like Uyo and a lot of other stadiums, Lagos, and maybe Kano Pillars and all of that. But right now, improvement must be done. And also, aside the stadium improvement, fans, the supporters club needs to be sensitized to know that next season, issue of fighting, abuse, and all that against the referee officials and all that, opposing teams should actually be reduced, right?
Yeah, of course. I think also that is something that NPFL should take into account when it comes to all of these issues of fighting and for fans going into the field to go ahead and chase players out of the stadiums and everything. All of these things. It's like as you continue, all of these fans don't get to learn from their mistakes. It's almost, when you look at it, almost every season we have a couple of issues like this in the NPFL. We hear that fans go into the field at some point to harm players because a decision didn't go their way and so. And most of the time, it's when it comes to the winning the league, that is where you get to hear things like this. When it comes to the final stages, I think even last this season, just concluded season, we had stuff like this in the one of the top of the table clash between Eyimba and Rangers United. If I'm not mistaken, I think we had something like that. between all of these clubs playing against each other. So I think the fans need to learn. Whenever you fight, at the end of the day, it is just going to cost the club more money from their pockets because the fine is a 1 million naira and upwards. That is what you get to hear when it comes to all of these fines of people going into streets and fighting the players or maybe fighting each other. So these players need to learn. At least if you have that million invested back in the team, it will go a long way. Maybe the away matches it will help. Maybe it will get the players some bonuses when it comes to performing in games. So I think there are better ways to handle it. There are, board of your club. There are people that are there in charge that will go ahead and handle all of these kind of things in a better way. You don't have to go into the field to make sure that things go your way. No, that's not football. Sometimes things do go your way, sometimes they don't go your way. You have to take it like that because it do happens. It do happen. It's part of the game, to be honest. It's part of the game. So we need improvements on the pitch and we need improvements from the fans. These fans, you have their board that they get to organize them and tell them that we go there, we don't go there, we stop there. You teach them, even if they don't know. And you have people that can control the ones that are beyond the control of people in charge of the club because there are gangsters definitely that will go to the field and watch their favorite team play. So you have the ones that are ahead of them to control them. Everything needs to be organized. If not, at the end of the day, you come and cost yourself money, you cost yourself points. So I think there is no benefit in all of those things. The only benefit is for you to win games and make sure that you find yourself in a very good place, maybe winning the league or challenging for the continental slots. That is the only thing that you can get.
Well, I think to some extent now, Jamajo, the MPF organizer also needs to stand on one ground of point deduction. Because we've seen a situation whereby clubs actually erred and they were punished with millions and they know that after the money, whatever happens. But if they know that 9 points, 6 points is at stake for a crowd or fans, rowdiness or whatever happens or beating up any player or referee, when you know that 9 points is going away, you will caution yourself not to allow yourself to be used to bring down points for your club. Don't you see that at least next season, maybe they should improve on how many points? 6, 9 point deduction.
Yeah, maybe even 10. I think that would be a good one for you to talk when it comes to players, when it comes to the fans. They go going ahead to disorganize matches and disturb people that are in charge of playing, in this kind of games. I think it's a good way forward. When you know that points are at stake, you do better, not only the money. Yeah, the money should be something that will come after the reduction of the fund, and I think it should be with immediate effect. As soon as the committee sits down and decide to deduct funds, they should just go ahead. Not say that they will review it or they just deduct it straight away and make sure that these clubs face what they do. At the end of the day, the fans will even do better because they want their team to win. The essence we play football is for us to win. So they will do better to make sure that their team wins, to be honest. That is a good idea.
Okay, big one there. I've been talking concerning the MPFL getting better next season. We saw what they have done this season, and really they deserve some commendation according to the MPFL organizers there. Now we're moving away from the MPFL. Let's go international. This time around, we'll talk about our female team that will be going to the Olympics. Well, we know that the list was actually released yesterday by Coach Randy Wardrum, but now the news came out that Super Falcons will play in international friendly. That's the story we're looking at next. Super Falcons will tackle Canada ahead of 2024 Paris Olympics. They'll be meeting in Sevilla, where they'll be camping for before they move to Germany. And the two teams will be locking horns in that particular friendly, international friendly there. Well, a big one coming the way of Super Falcons now. And to let you know that the list actually rolled out yesterday, we have, let's look at that list when we actually juxtapose the two together, both the Super Falcon playing Canada and also the list of the team there. Well, from the way it is right now, the list is there. We know that we have alternate players. And we have players actually make the call. And a lot of Nigerians are raising eyebrows that the likes of players that made the alternate players like Gift Monday should have been drafted into the main team. Well, the coach actually has made his decision. But from you, Jamajo, do you think this team have what it takes to withstand the heat over there against Spain, Brazil, and Japan in our group?
It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. First of all, definitely there are always going to be question marks when it comes to this kind of selection. You cannot satisfy everybody when it comes to selecting all of these things. But the only thing I used to say when it comes to selecting players to play in this kind of tournament is that you give the coach the benefit of doubt and let him select the players that he feels are the ones that will perform for the team in this kind of competition. It's all about winning. If he goes there with the players that he selects and win, that's the most important thing. That shouldn't be the question. But let him go there with the players that he selects. When we see that there are problems, then we come and start putting all of those question marks all over the squad and think that whoever comes in we are carrying that player or that other player, the Super Falcons would have done better. I think those question marks will be there, but let's wait and see what the coach is capable of doing with this set of players that they are carrying over there to play in the Olympics for Nigeria when it comes to the Super Falcons. I think it's a good one. The selection looks very good and we are on our way to make sure that we do something good for Nigerians when it comes to playing in this kind of tournaments. And we talked about the players that are in there and the friendly and everything that Falcons are. I think it's a good way to start. For us to play a side like Canada when it comes to the women's people, I think it's a good one because they are one of the big games. You cannot rule them out. Them and the United States of America are the ones that have to do waiting when it comes to the women's people. So it's a way forward for the team to play against them. And let's see what is going to happen with this tournament because I've got some hope with this team because it seems like it's been a while that they've played in this kind of they even play in the Olympics. A lot of the Olympics have gone quite time before we get to see it right now. But we just hope that our players get to do a whole lot of a good job when it comes to playing with this government. And I think we're going to see something.
Okay, well, we're talking about Super Falcons there. They'll be playing. They'll be playing a friendly with against Canada. That will be coming up July 17. Although we have that they will be moving out today. The home base players, or rather the players are in Nigeria on holiday, will be jetting out to Spain, where they will be facing Sevilla on July 17. From that game in Sevilla, they will move straight down to Germany before their first game against Japan. That will be a big one there. Nigeria, Brazil, Japan, Spain are in the same group, and we're starting our first game on 25th, thereabout against Brazil, I beg your pardon. And that's a big one because Nigeria will have to face Brazil, Spain, and Japan before they can cross out, and we know how strong and talented the other teams can be. But we have a faith that our team will also do well. Away from the Super Falcons team, let's talk about the Super Eagles. The D-Day is here, and there's no way to, no place to hide or run. We look at the story, Afcon 2025. Super Eagles to know qualifying opponents on Thursday. That's the day where they'll be having the draws to be conducted over there in Johannesburg by this afternoon, where all the 48 teams, aside Morocco, who are really, they will be the host, automatically they've qualified. Doesn't matter where they place. Let's look at from the way it is. CAF Afcon Morocco 2025 draw that will be coming up. CAF Afcon Morocco 2025 draw that will be coming up today over there in Johannesburg. Well, we have about 48 teams there in Pot 1. We have Nigeria there, Tunisia, Algeria, Cameroon, Mali, South Africa, DR Congo, Ghana. That is Pot 1. Well, Jamajo, the D-Day is here for Afcon 2025 draw that will be coming up today. And Super Eagles should be ready to face some of the teams that they are actually playing in the World Qualifiers because the Afcon qualifier will also be coming up today over there in South Africa.
Yeah, I think we are in the same spot with the big boys because when you look at Morocco, Senegal, Egypt, Cote d'Ivoire, Tunisia, Algeria, Cameroon, Mali, South Africa, DR Congo, and Ghana, it's like we are in the same spot with the big boys, and every other team that is going to come in for 2 and for 3 and for 4 is like we can go ahead and beat all of them and make sure that we qualify for the 2025 African Cup of Nations. It is not the World Cup qualifier. There are 2 teams that are going to come out from every group to participate in the main World Cup, that is in the main African Cup of Nations that is going to come. So I think it's a good way forward for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We have never faced any challenge when it comes to qualifying for the African Cup of Nations, although the World Cup is a different case because even right now we are in a very difficult situation when it comes to playing in the 2026 World Cup that is going to come. So I think these games that are going to come this year should be games that the Super Eagles are just going to use to make sure they keep themselves fresh and in a very good position because the new coach is going to come in anytime. So when he comes, he can use all of these games and play against all of this kind of opponents, put the team in a very good shape. Because we have got a big job to do in 2025 when it comes to qualifying for the World Cup. That is where my problem is. But I've never, seen any issue with the Super Eagles playing and qualifying for the African competitions because even the likes of the brand, when you look at the Burkina Faso, Guinea, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, all of them, Zambia, Benin Republic, are sides that we can beat. All of them are beatable sides to the Super Eagles of Nigeria when you consider the quality that we have. But the problem over the last couple of months has been how can this our team, the talent that we've got, fulfill their potential when it comes to playing for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I just hope we get the proper coach. If we get the proper coach, that has done like 70% of the job to me. For him to just set up the team is just going to be a one-way traffic for him. He can set up the team and we can do better. But I hope and I have massive confidence because I've learned to lower my expectation with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But in this combination qualifiers, I have massive confidence that the team will go ahead and qualify and play in the 2025 Africa Cup nations come next year.
Why are you having you say you are lowering your confidence or thereabout expectations for Super Eagles?
Yeah, I've learned to lower my expectations. Yeah.
Can you explain that, please? Can you explain that, Jamajo?
Yeah, why I said that is because when you look at from the African Cup nations, we went to the finals, we couldn't win it. From there, I think that day I almost had an heart attack. To be honest with you, because I was very down and very low because of the pain that I've had. And from that moment, I just learned to lower my expectations with the team. Because most of the time, when we expect them to perform, that is where they get to disappoint. To be honest with you, and from that moment, we went and played two World Cup qualifying matches where we couldn't even get 3 points from one of those games. At least 3 points, we couldn't get them. All of them were exhausted. So at that time, I wasn't paying that much because I've learned to lower my expectations because the disappointment has been very clear in the eye with this team, to be honest.
Okay, seriously, Super Eagles can give someone high blood pressure with the way they play. I understand you, Jamajo. Well, still talking about this particular draw there, let's look at the Afcon 2025 qualifier, the terms, the rules quickly. We have the team seeded according to latest FIFA rankings issued on June 20, 2024. Those are the 48 teams you saw earlier. The top two teams in 11 of the groups qualifying directly to the finals, already scheduled for 24th December 2025 to 18th January 2026, while the 12th group, which has host nation Morocco. We see Morocco qualifying no matter the position in which they finish, alongside one other team. The qualifying matches will play over the FIFA windows of September, October, and November 2024. And 2025, they will be starting the World Cup qualifiers there. Well, just let you have a feel of what is happening concerning the draws that will be coming up today in Johannesburg, South Africa there. Well, for Super Eagles, we just hope that they would give us that high expectation this time around. The way they are playing, the way they play in their clubs, they need to also make us proud. By the time they don the colors of Nigeria, green, white, green, make us proud, make us happy. That's why we give you the chance to play. Not that we have a lot of players who are far better, but not giving the chance to all to have a nod to be called to play for Eagles there. Well, right now, we're moving away from Eagles story. Let's talk about our teams that are representing us at CAF Champions League and also CAF Confederation. CAF CL, CAF Confederation there, Rangers, Remo, Eyimba, Elkanemi get CAF deadline to register their players. They give them, that's July 16. They must make sure all the registered players are on the platform of Confederation of African Football before that particular date, so that they can have all the team list. And that's a good one. We just saw that our teams will meet up with time. Rangers, Remo, Eyimba, and Elkanemi Warriors. A call from CAF to these clubs. Jamajo.
Yeah, I think this is all about what I was talking about earlier, that we need to get things together at the right time. Because if not, we won't be surprised what is going to happen at the end of the day. You see, already deadlines are coming out for the registration of players. And that is also a big hint for them, or a big call for them to be aware that, look, we are into a big competition and there is no time to waste. You have to put teams together in time to wait for that, we get to play in this kind of tournament. I think the problem for me right now is how can this team, get enough time to sign the required players, because we are talking about less than 2 weeks for them to register their players entirely. We don't have much time to sign us, register them in this competition when it comes to the CAF competitions next season. I think the time has been limited, And that is why I have my problem with CAF because the time is a little bit small. These teams don't have enough time to look at players, sign them, register them because everything that they're going to do right now is going to be quick. And to play in this kind of tournaments, you have to think big. You have to sign big players, the best of players, to come in and help you. I think for Yimba it's nothing new, but for likes of Elkanemi, I think there is something for them to worry about in this kind of situation.
Well, from the way it is right now, time is really not on the side of those teams like Elkanemi. They need to get to look at players they want to sign. We know that Rangers are really signing players right now. Eyimba, they have what it takes. They are experienced team in the African competition. And for Remo Stars, we know how organized that team are. But for Elkanemi, they really need to quickly look inward and get some players for themselves. According to Naziru Jamajo there, well, CAF deadline says July 16. Register your player online or on our platform for us to have all the club licensed and also ahead of the next season CAF Champions League and CAF Confederation. There are 4 teams representing Nigeria there, Remo Stars, Rangers, Elkanemi and Eyimba International. We cross over to Europe and also to Americas, where we look at, our focus is going to be on Uefa Euro 2024 and Conmebol Copa America. Well, games have been played in the group stages, in the 2 competitions taking place in America and also in Europe right now. Jamajo, let's start with you. We know that the quarterfinal will be starting any moment from that. That's on Friday. Argentina, all the teams will be playing over there, Brazil, Uruguay, and also England, Spain, Portugal, all of them are battle ready alongside France, Germany. But right now, in the group stage and round of 16, which team would you pick as a team that actually give you that goosebump that, yes, this is a team I'm standing with? Let's start with Euro now. The team you are picking. Before we talk about the round of quarterfinals now, pick a team that actually give you that best football in Euros.
You can see me wearing a Portugal jersey, but I'm not going to go with them. I can even tell you straightforward, I'm not going to go with them. I think the team that has given me the goosebumps in this tournament, definitely the Euros, is Spain. My word, they are playing football in this tournament. Boy, the team has got players that can play, especially in the minimal and Nico Williams. Those players, especially Nico Williams, have surprised me, to be honest, because I never thought that Nico Williams is this good when it comes to play football. All of these 2 players, when it comes to the minimal and Nico Williams, are killers when it comes to 1v1. Whenever they have the ball in situations that they can take on players, they do take them on without even thinking twice. Just look at Lamine Man at 16 years of age, the way he's playing. Look at Nico Williams at not less than 20. Look at the way he's playing. Very, very good. They can play, they can score goals, they can take on their markers and try their best to make sure they help their team. I think in the Euros entirely, this year, the highest assist we got, the most assists in this tournament is Lamine Yamal at 16, who have had only 2 assists in this tournament, and this is higher. I think it's a good one for them. Look at their midfield, the industry right here. You look at Fabio Ruiz, look at Rodri from Manchester City, look at Pedri. All of them, the combination, the blend, the balance is there completely in that midfield. And in defense too, they have been compact. They have been compact. I think even Chelsea will sit down and wonder, how is Marco Corella this good? Because Cucurella has stepped up in this tournament. Danny Cavani, we have had no doubts about him. Because even as Real Madrid, we've seen how he performed in the Champions League. They won the Champions League, they won the league. There are no surprises. Even the goalkeeper, David has been doing well at Arsenal. So I think this Spanish national team, they are the team to beat in this tournament. And Germany, the host nation, have got a very good tie in their hand when it comes to playing against the Spanish national team.
Okay, well, the UEFA Euro 2024 quarterfinals there. I can see that a lot of people have been pitching their tent with Spain. Well, it's getting tougher. Spain, Germany will be locking on, and that will be starting on Friday. Portugal, France, England, Switzerland, and Netherlands, Turkey. A brief touch on this particular quarterfinals fixtures, Jamajo. You look at the team from the right to the left: Spain, Germany, Portugal, France, England, Switzerland, Netherlands, Turkey. And if you split them into 2, whoever qualified from here, well, and whoever qualified from here is a tough one. Spain, Portugal, England, Netherlands, or is it going to be Germany, France, Switzerland, Turkey, or you swap it? Let me just quickly take 1 or 2 from you. I'll just call the match, and then you pick a team that will qualify. Spain, Germany, where do you stand?
Spain, of course. Spain, of course. Spain, of course.
Right? Okay, let's see. Maybe Germans will actually shock you. Anything can happen in football. Okay, Portugal, France. Portugal, France.
Portugal, of course. I'll stick with Cristiano Ronaldo, definitely.
Okay,
Cristiano, of course.
You are not standing with France.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay, well, it's going to be a tough one. Although Ronaldo said they'll be going to war against France, and we want to see that war coming up. It's really going to be a big war between France and Portugal, a match that will actually decide. Because if Portugal are able to bundle out France, then it means they are ready to go again. Now, England, Switzerland, the two teams have land behind attached to their name, the land. Which one are you saying? Is it the Swedes?
Ooh. At the end of the day, it's going to be one team that is going to land in the semi-finals of this tournament.
Of course.
Despite them having the land at the end of their name. But, England have not been convincing this tournament. They have not been impressive. And Switzerland, I think this often they win because they have found the balance in their team, and that is what the England side is struggling to have. Something is telling me to say England because they tend to find their way in this kind of games. But something is telling me that the Switzerland are going to surprise me. But let me stick with the English national. The England will go to. They go to.
Okay, well, for the way it is, you are pitching your test with England. Netherlands, Turkey. That's another tough match because we saw how Turkey really have shown how to play football as a team. Where do you stand between the two?
Oh, this is a bit difficult, a bit difficult, a bit difficult. Netherlands, they have got players that are beginning to perform through. Tony Malin, Koni Gakpo, all of them. Virgil van Dijk is commanding at the centre back. And the Turkey too, they have got Arda Güler and Demiral is beginning to step up in the defensive line. Let me just say Turkey.
Okay.
Let me just say Turkey. I'm going with Turkey.
Okay, well, we see. That's at least we need to rattle you a bit to see how you're going to predict as Octopus Jamajo there. Now, let's go to Copa America. Conmebol Copa America. We're going to do the same thing here quickly. Well, these are teams that have been able to make it to the quarterfinals to Argentina. Yes, we know the Albi Celeste, they are ready against Ecuador, but you never can tell. Anything can happen. Venezuela, Canada, Colombia, Panama, Brazil, the Selecao, the Samba Boys against Uruguay. They will be fighting here. Apologies for that spelling there. But from the way it is, let's do it the way we did it first. Argentina, Ecuador. Just pick one.
Argentina, of course. Argentina, of course. They will beat Argentina. Will beat them.
What if Ecuador actually shock them?
Come again, please.
I said, what if Ecuador spring up surprises against Argentina? Anything can really happen.
With Messi, there are no surprises.
Okay. Venezuela, Canada.
Well, yeah, Canada too have a kind of stepped up in this, competition. But I think Canada, of course, Canada will go to the semi-final.
Okay, well, maybe, and you can actually go. Both of them are having A behind them there. Colombia, Panama.
Colombia. I think Colombia will go to. Colombia will go to because the likes of these, they have stepped up too, and they have gave the Brazilians a very tough time. I think playing against them in the last round of the group. They even won the group. So they have a big shout to win this one.
Okay, the first team or the first country to win the World Cup in 1930, Uruguay. They also hosted it. They'll be playing against Brazil. And you can expect a big or very, very tough match where the likes of Ugarte will be facing the Brazilian team where they have Vinicius Jr. This is a match that I want to see where you'll be standing here.
Well, it's going to be difficult. Though the Brazilians will be without Vinicius Jr. for him actually getting yellow cards and it means he's missing the game because of the suspension that is going to get him. But there are so many players that can help the Brazilians to qualify. And even the Uruguayans have got a lot of people for Duarte and Roland Araujo, all of them are in the team. But let me say Brazil.
Okay, well, if you are standing with Brazil, I should be standing with Uruguay. Anyway, just to put your leg there. Well, before we let's take this particular story. Nigeria home team now. Rivers United announces Finidi George as a new head coach. That's the story we're looking at right now. Rivers United announces Finidi George as new head coach of Rivers United there. Well, from the way it is, Jamajo, quickly touch on this.
Go back straight into the NPFL. That shows you that so many of the NPFL need trust what Tunis brings to the table, and that is why Rivers United actually went ahead straight away and took him, because I think he won the league with Yimba in his first season in the NPFL. So one thing you can never doubt of him is his quality of handling teams in the NPFL. But to be honest, he's not at the level of handling the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He's just back to the level that he should be. No shits, no, nothing thrown at him. I think no, I'm not trolling him. I'm not saying that he is not good enough, but he is back at the level that he should be, because he's not as much as good as, he's not that good to handle the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Well, Rivers United right now, they've gotten their man. That's definitely George. If you recall, it was formerly with Eyimba. Now they moved to Super Eagles and then back to his native state, that's Rivers State, as going to be the coach, or rather the technical manager, according to the time they use, as the head coach of Rivers United. Let's see what he'll be offering them, and taking them to that level that they want to be when it comes to winning the MPFL or play in the CAF Interclub competition. We've been running the show with Nazir Jamal Joe, joined us from Kaduna State. Thank you so much, Nazir. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time with us.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, a big word there from Nazir Jamajo, join us from Kaduna State there. And before we go, we take 3 more transfer stories now. Let's start with our own international, Muri Dagbo. Dagbo has moved to join a team over there in Benin Republic called Asvo FC. He will be playing with them for the next 2 seasons right now. Actually joined Fatai Amo, who is the coach of that team. Muri Dagbo, a former player of Kora United, and also ABS of Ilorin will be joining Fatai Amao over there at the Asvo FC of Benin Republic in a 2-year deal. Congrats to him for the fact that he got that done. And another Nigeria, a goalkeeper who played for a Cyprus team, a Cypriot club, a Northeast, that's the next story we're looking at, a Northeast Neo Paralimni signs goalkeeper Adebayo Adeleye on a free transfer from a team from Israel, that is Hapoel Jerusalem. Hapoel Jerusalem of Israel was the team he played for 6 years, where he had 139 appearances, and he moved to join this Cyprus club, called Enosis Neo Paralimni. Congrats to him there. And the last one is with basketball, the king of basketball when it comes to scoring, NBA all-time scorer, LeBron James agrees 2-year deal with Lakers, Los Angeles Lakers, worth $104 million. Well, he will be the first player to play alongside his son, Bronny. So that's at least a record. The first NBA player to play alongside his son. Next season, they have both been signed with that club right now. They'll be playing together, father and son, Bronny and LeBron James. To let you know that LeBron James actually scored 40,474 points in his career to make him the all-time NBA top scorer when it comes to basketball. Well, that's how we actually wrap up this show for today on the show 360 Sport on Trust TV. As we always tell you that sport is business and fitness. I'm Adeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.